So on my table right here could possibly be the most rare NES game ever. So the other day I put an order in for this, so let's go ahead and crack it open and discuss it. Okay, so looks like we have it in the box is the cartridge here, but you're probably asking yourself, what is this cartridge? Well, let's pull it out and take a look. So the cartridge is the brand new album by Zao titled Reformat, Reboot. And the entire album is on this NES cartridge. Now, unlike other artists or whatever, to where they're like, well, we're going to put the album on the cartridge, usually in those cases, the entire album or whatever would have been done with the audio development tool for that console. So the album, whether you hear it on the cartridge or you hear it on compact disc or on Spotify, it's usually the exact same presentation. However, that is not the case with this particular album. So in addition to the cartridge, also comes with this sound chip expander. And by installing this on your NES, basically it allows it to play things that aren't exactly NES spec. And so on this cartridge is the full legit actual album. It's all MP3 format. And so by installing this board onto your NES, you're able to actually play, real audio on the NES. Let's see what other goodies we got here. So, looks like we have a Zao sticker of the new logo, the 8-bit logo. Looks like we also have a card that tells a little bit more information about it. So, there were 100 copies of this made. The first batch sold out immediately because they put it up for sale for people who are on the mailing list. Unfortunately, I'm not on the mailing list because I just don't sign up for mailing lists. I just don't do that. So I was aware of the sale coming up, and when I logged into Bandcamp at the specified time, it had already been open pre-order for like 40 minutes for people on the mailing list, so it was already sold out, done, gone, over with. A week or two ago, whatever, they said that they're going to have an additional, I think, 15 copies available. And, of course, that sold out instantly. But I had all my information ready, my Bandcamp information, credit card information, and all that. And I had everything ready to go. So as soon as it went live, just add to cart, check out, and I was done. And it looks like these are individually numbered. So this is number 38 of 100. So that's kind of cool. So, I guess we'll go ahead and head over to the NES and get the chip installed and go from there. So I guess let's go ahead and crack into this thing. So apparently this mod is fairly simple. We just remove the cover and then do some snipping of tabs, if I can reach them. There. Okay, there we go. So that is off. Okay, and so now we have to figure out the correct way to put this in. Apparently we take this and we install it with the front facing us. And so we just kind of put it in here like so. And just slide it right down in there. So that should be sufficient. And then basically we just put the cover back on. So there we go. So that's the audio chip expansion done. I have another mod on this NES. I have the blinking light win installed on here, which basically it's not a spring-loaded tray, so the tray never moves. The game just goes directly in there and then it's locked. So I guess we'll go ahead and hook this up to the TV and see how it works. Okay, so as you can see, there is the title screen. We can come over here and check out credits, and we can see the credits made possible by the 6502 Collective MP3 cartridge, so it's MP3s on a cartridge. I'm not really sure what the bit rate is of the MP3s on this cartridge. I guess I could have contacted, but you know, whatever. There's some more things. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get started. So let's hit start. When you hit start, it just automatically starts the album. One thing I will note, I had to really turn this up to get decent audio, which is fine. It'd be even better in the living room since I have a surround sound receiver. Well, let's skip ahead. I like how it has the lyrics on screen, so we can read the lyrics. And yeah, it's all controlled by NES. Well, that's nice. It wraps. Spare no expense. They actually have the buttons wrapped. I'm impressed. So basically, this is just a whole album of remixes and reinterpretations. So that's why it's really heavily electronica, because Zayo's normal stuff isn't this heavily electronica. For those of you who've never heard of them before, they're pretty much just straight metal. I am curious if this was mastered in mono for the NES, since the NES is mono. It only has one audio out. That'd be interesting to know. Okay, so we don't have any way to fast forward, we can only skip tracks. that's interesting. It refreshed to the next page of lyrics. Huh. That's really cool. Okay, so I guess to wrap this all up and conclude this, this is actually a really cool idea. From what I've read and from what I've seen, the 6502 Collective were the ones who came up with this idea, and Zao is the first artist to, I guess, do this. So for all intents and purposes, Zao's new album is the first album available in MP3 format on an NES cartridge, to where you can listen to the full album the way that it is normally heard. Because like what I said earlier, cartridge albums usually just rely on the system sound chip to make the sound. So with them using this expander to be able to play full-on MP3 audio, I mean, this opens up a whole new world. So it's really interesting. It'll be really interesting to see who all takes advantage of this idea as well. I reached out to Zao, and they mentioned that there's 120 copies total of this, but only 100 were up for public sale. So that's the numbers as far as printing goes. I'm sure there may have been a couple or few held back for damage or something of that nature as well. But yeah, so I don't have much else to say. I mean, this is a really cool idea, and I'm just really excited to see if anybody else takes advantage of it. It'd be kind of interesting to see if there's a way to do this for like the Sega Genesis or the Super Nintendo. It was really interesting that somebody was able to think of a way to do this with the NES. So it's a great time we're living in with retro gaming, because who knows what kind of smart minds out there are figuring out ways to further take advantage of them. Like that guy who's figured out a way to modify the VCD expansion port on the Sega Saturn to allow running unsigned code and backup copies of games through an SD card reader or USB expansion in the VCD expander chip. I mean, that's wild that somebody would think about that and somebody would figure that out. But, yeah, I guess that's all there is to that. So, thanks for watching and peace out.